Notification volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Blindformers. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we will be transforming JP-93 from their vehicle mode to their robot mode. Blindformers is, of course, a show that is based around helping the blind and visually impaired, those of you who can't read the instructions, because the instructions for Transformers are typically very horrible. This is a verbal explanation on how to transform it. Think of this as a verbal technical document. You can close your eyes, let them rest, sit and listen, or focus on the transformer itself with your eyes while listening to me talk about it. That way you don't have to look from there, look over there, look from there, look over there. No, I'll tell you about it verbally. So, you don't have to do that. You don't hurt your neck. You just pay attention to the transformer and transform it with me. So, if you like what you see here, hit the like button. If you happen to be watching a lot of my videos, then please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to help me raise awareness for the blind through Transformers and action figures, help me get to the blind audience that I'm looking to reach, then share on your Facebook wall or on your Twitter account or just wherever, Post it on a little piece of paper and stick it to a telephone pole. I don't care how you share it. Just please share it. And maybe it will reach the people, the audience that I'm seeking. I'm seeking an audience that could gain the most benefit from what I'm doing. And with your help, we can reach them. So, thank you for that. And let's start transforming JP-93 from their crazy beta-style SUV into the robot mode. So, to begin, you want to first open the doors on either side of the transformer. There we go. The doors will help destabilize everything, and that's important. Now we want to break the hood down. So what we're doing is there's a connection there between the windshield and the hood, and we're just going to break that connection by just moving it like so. Now the windshield is popped up and it's sitting on top of the hood. There we go. All of that is now kind of bendable. Now what that's going to allow us to do is move over here to the back area. Now move your fingers up the back of the vehicle to that little protrusion area, the part that's stuck up higher than the vehicle itself. That little glass area we talked about, you want to go ahead and put your fingernail under the edge of it and turn it upwards. Now that it's up, you can then you carefully disconnect all the connections here. And this part with these little bits is more difficult. That connection is very sturdy between these two little bits that are on top of the vehicle itself. And they're going to become the bottoms of the feet, but they're clear plastic, so be very careful with that. And now we're going to get to another part of the transformation that worries me, and I want to point out so that you also are aware, and it is a little upsetting that it does that. So back here on the back, we've got a really nice bumper and back windshield stuff. Well, all of this is going to fold into the transformer to become the knees. Now the problem with this transformation and this folding is that it's a very tight fold. And so when you get here to the bottom of the bumper area, that rubs against the inside of the plastic on this guy. So that rubs when you fold it into its knee shape. So after a long time of this transforming, if you transform it too many times, this area that's flat right below the bumper is going to get its paint worn away. And just be aware of that. That is a negative on this transformation, and I hate that happens. There's not enough clearance there to allow for the paint to not get rubbed away. That's a shame. Now, when you move the lower leg area and fold that bumper in as the knee, you're then going to fold the clear bit that was on top of the roof over to become the bottom of the foot. Sadly, no siege ports on the undersides. Now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and come over here to this top of the car that has the front windshield, and we're going to fold it backwards. It's just going to be out of the way for now. Now we're going to come over here to the fists, and if you feel right behind where the dashboard would be in the car, right on inside of the doors, there are the two arms sticking in there. And you're going to use your thumbs and hold the thing steady with your forefingers and your ring fingers, just to hold the transformer steady, and then use your thumbs to push those arms through. Now that those arms are kind of through, you can use your thumb and forefinger to pull each of those arms out from the underside so that they're no longer bent at a 90-degree angle and sticking up into the vehicle. They're actually sticking out, and you can kind of use them as risers if you wanted to show off the vehicle. All right, now that those are actually separated from the vehicle itself, we can move them apart from one another, and they're just going to stretch out and rotate at the wheel. The wheel itself is going to do a fun thing of rotating so that the bottom of the wheel will rest on the top of the hood. And that's kind of a neat feature that I found to be very interesting. And I did love how these arms transform. It's very akin to how some of the alternators transform their arms. But once we've rotated both of these arms out from underneath this hood using the rotation at the wheels, then we're going to fold it down. And this is a fun part of this transformation. This hood bit, there's a piece of the hood that's just a flap, but it sits there nice and flush until something pushes at it from the underside. Now that's a difficulty when untransforming this thing, when transforming it back into its vehicle mode from its robot mode. You actually have to get in there with your pinky or something and push this little flap up, because once you folded it all the way down, and we're about to do that, and we put the hood into its stationary port that's underneath there, and it will fall in there naturally. You really don't have to do much to make sure that happens. But that little flap is going to fold over the chin of the robot's head and then sit flush on the hood again. And this is the negative part I was telling you about, where now you're going to have to get in there with your pinky finger or something, and you're going to have to push on that flap in order to untransform it without damaging it. And that is kind of a negative on this guy. Now, on the back of this windshield, the windshield for the front of the vehicle, you can feel there's this little tab that sticks up, and we're going to find this bit that sticks behind the head of the transformer, and it sticks out a good distance. And in it, on the very end of that, there's a little sliver of a hole, like a little rectangular slot, and we're going to put this little piece in there, and it's going to sit. Now, be careful with that, because that piece is plastic. Now, don't go wiggling this thing around too much, because you may snap that piece, and that would be bad. But once you put that piece in, that flap does hold in pretty steady. Now we come over here to the hands and get to the second most difficult part about this guy, is unfolding these hands. But once you unfold them from inside the wrist, they make a nice click. I love that click. So we're going to go to the forearm and unfold this thing from the inside of the forearm, not the wrist, the forearm. And it may be a little difficult if you don't have fingernails, but you do it, the hands will snap into place. And I think that's nice. And there we go. Let's give him his little gun. And now he can say, "Clever girl," with the rest of them. All right, there you go. And that's how you transform your JP-93 from his vehicle mode to his robot mode. Sadly, the back doors on him, the doors that kind of make up the wings, do not fold flat against anything. It's the way the transformation works. They're going to sit at a very wide V, like, he's the leader of the Mighty Ducks or something. But no, it will be a V. Each of these sits at like a 60-degree angle, and there's nothing to stop that from happening. They can't fold in too much further, or else get in the way of this panel, or they can't fold out to be flush with the back, completely laying at 180 degrees across the back, because of the way the shoulders work. But that is how you transform JP-93. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and please tune in tomorrow, as on More Than Meets the Eye, we will be going over the pros and cons and an in-depth review of JP-93's robot mode. Overall, for this transformation, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. There are parts of it, like the use of clear plastic pegs, that does worry me. They're easy to snap. The fact that there are parts where the paint has to rub against other paint in order to make the transformation occur gets a negative. This transformation, though intuitive, it still was not as complicated as I would like it to be, and so that gets it another negative. And finally, even though it's really cool Transformer, it has my biggest negative on Transformers. The one thing I dislike most about Transformers, and it's the Transformers that make the hood out of the core front of their body. Like, I don't ever like that. I like it if the hood's folded down flat, down the core of the body, but this bit where the hood sticks out to give them a giant, breast area, that always messed with me. I never really liked that too much, and always thought, that could fold down. So that gets a negative for me, but that's my personal bias. overall, it is a great transformation. It is intuitive. It's just it's not as complicated as I would like it to be, and that's understandable with it being a chug scale figure. But for chug scale, it is a decent figure. It is quite excellent, and it holds up with the best of them. We'll talk about its robot mode tomorrow, so tune in then. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye bye for now.